Was the Ottoman Empire secretly ruled by magic and astrology? Astrology and magic evokes mystery and authority, perfect for attracting history and occult fans. Witchcraft in the Sultan's court? The hidden truth strong curiosity trigger with a bold question, great for click-throughs. How mystics controlled Ottoman emperors. Short, dramatic, and suggests a hidden truth, ideal for storytelling. Occult secrets of the Ottoman sultans revealed. Classic revealed formula draws viewers looking for hidden history. Behind the grandeur of the Ottoman court lay a hidden world, one ruled not by soldiers or scholars, but by mystics, seers, and astrologers. Far from superstition alone, occult practices shaped key decisions in war, love, and politics. This world, often overlooked in mainstream history, reveals how even the most powerful sultans turned to the stars, talismans, and unseen forces to guide their rule. In this series, we unveil the occult secrets of the Ottoman Empire. The Ottomans, like many medieval powers, believed in a layered universe, visible and invisible. While Islam emphasized divine will, mysticism offered ways to understand and perhaps influence fate. Astrology, numerology, dream interpretation, and spiritual rituals weren't mere folklore. They were considered tools to access hidden truths. Sultans, often educated in these fields, didn't dismiss them. Instead, they kept mystics and astrologers close, believing that destiny left signs, if one knew where to look. The palace employed a wide range of spiritual advisors. Some were Sufis, others claimed ancient Persian or Byzantine magical knowledge. Many came from diverse backgrounds, Arab, Persian, Greek, or even Balkan. Some served officially as court astrologers, munyajim, while others remained in the shadows as secret whisperers. These figures were trusted with interpreting omens, preparing protective charms, and selecting favorable dates for key actions like battles, marriages, or even executions. Astrology in the Ottoman Empire wasn't dismissed as pseudoscience. In fact, many sultans funded observatories and employed astrologers trained in astronomy. Natal charts were drawn for newborn princes. Conjunctions of planets were watched before launching campaigns. The famous astrologer Taqi al-Din even worked at the Imperial Observatory in the 16th century. His predictions were considered essential for state planning. Astrological calculations often determined the timing of coronations, royal weddings, or military marches. The Munyajim Bashi held a prestigious title in the palace, chief astrologer of the empire. He was responsible for crafting detailed horoscopes, interpreting planetary alignments, and advising the sultan on celestial matters. This role wasn't merely ceremonial. Decisions involving statecraft, diplomacy, and military operations often rested on his interpretations. A respected figure, he often worked in private, communicating with the Sultan or Grand Vizier directly, especially in times of uncertainty or major change. Talismans were deeply woven into Ottoman culture. Crafted by skilled calligraphers or mystics, they combined Quranic verses with sacred geometry and astral symbols. These amulets were worn by sultans under their robes, sewn into clothing, or hidden in palace walls. Designed for protection, fertility, victory, or love, each talisman had a specific ritual. Some were even created for entire military campaigns. In this sense, magic served as spiritual armor against enemies, both visible and invisible. Dream interpretation, Tabir al-Ruya, was considered a legitimate science. Sultans and viziers often recorded their dreams and consulted interpreters for meaning. A strange dream before a battle might be seen as an omen of defeat, or a sign to change strategy. Some dreams were thought to contain divine approval or warnings from ancestors. The line between the real and spiritual was thin in the Ottoman court, and dreams were often the gateway between both worlds. Even matters of the heart were governed by the stars. Before a sultan chose a concubine or married a princess, astrologers calculated compatibility through birth charts. This wasn't simply romantic, it was political. An unlucky union could bring disaster. Astrologers advised on auspicious days for weddings or first nights. In some cases, it's believed that certain consorts rose in rank due to favorable astrological alignments, perhaps tipping the scales in deadly harem rivalries. The imperial harem wasn't just a center of beauty, it was a battleground of spiritual forces. Female slaves and concubines, often from various cultures, brought with them folk magic, love potions, and protective rituals. Some were believed to use binding spells or incense magic to win favor with the sultan. Harem Sultan, for instance, was accused by her rivals of using black magic to bewitch Suleiman, claims that reflect real fears of occult manipulation. Many mystics at court had Sufi ties. The Sufi brotherhoods, especially the Mevlevis and Bektashis, were deeply spiritual yet open to metaphysical inquiry. Their rituals, like dhikr, chanting, or sama, spiritual dance, aimed at transcending the physical realm. Some Sufi sheikhs were granted access to the palace and served as spiritual guides to sultans. Their influence was subtle, but immense, blending mysticism, Islamic scholarship, and political insight into one potent force. Though the Ottoman state officially condemned sorcery, whispers of black magic surfaced, especially during palace intrigues. Accusations of using jinn, curses, or necromancy were common during succession crises. While the practice was illegal and punishable, certain individuals operated in secrecy, especially in times of desperation. Historical records mention the arrest and execution of sorcerers in Istanbul, often accused of casting love spells or manipulating political rivals through unseen powers. Before battles, sultans often consulted astrologers for auspicious dates. But beyond that, mystics prepared battle talismans, conducted spiritual rituals for protection, and even read omens in fire, water, or animals. Stories tell of magical banners, prayers for invisibility, or even charms placed in enemy territory to sow confusion. Though seemingly mythical, such practices reflected real belief that unseen forces could tip the balance of war, just as cannons and cavalry did. The Istanbul Observatory of Taqi al-Din, established in 1577, symbolized the fusion of science and mysticism. From here, astrologers watched the skies, predicting eclipses, comet appearances, and planetary movements. But the observatory was destroyed by Sultan Murad III, reportedly after astrologers failed to foresee a plague. Some say religious pressure played a role, others believe palace rivals feared the growing power of court astrologers. Its destruction marked a turning point in Ottoman astrology. Mystics practiced spiritual cleansing of spaces, people, or even the sultan's armor. Using incense, salt, Quranic recitations, and specific herbs, they believed they could ward off the evil eye, envy, and curses. Rooms were cleared before major events. Such rituals, while rooted in Islamic traditions, carried esoteric meanings. Even military tents during campaigns were sometimes blessed to ensure divine favor and protection from spiritual attacks. When a prince was born, astrologers rushed to chart his celestial map. The alignment of stars at birth was said to indicate his destiny, whether he'd be wise, warlike, or doomed. Some princes were treated with extra care due to unlucky stars. This practice also influenced education and temperament training, as guardians adjusted their methods to suit the child's natural tendencies as revealed by the heavens. Succession in the Ottoman Empire was rarely smooth, and the occult often played a silent role. Some factions employed mystics to bless their prince, curse a rival, or sway the favor of key figures. It's believed that certain executions or accidents had occult involvement. In times of political tension, the stars and spirits were consulted as frequently as military advisors, sometimes more. This shadowy influence remains one of the least discussed elements of palace politics. Some Ottoman intellectuals delved into alchemy, the mystical forerunner to chemistry. While officially dismissed by scholars, alchemy survived in private circles. Legends tell of secret laboratories under the palace, where attempts to transmute metals or create elixirs of life were conducted. These efforts were often supported by wealthy patrons or even sultans seeking immortality or divine wisdom. Though no gold was made, the pursuit of hidden knowledge continued in silence. When a sultan or prince fell ill and medicine failed, mystics were called. Belief in spiritual possession or the evil eye was strong. Healers used Quranic verses, amulets, and smoke to drive out jinn or cleanse spiritual disturbances. In one account, a sultan's depression was treated by surrounding him with rosewater, oud, and special incantations. These spiritual remedies, while secretive, show how even rulers embraced invisible cures when nothing else worked. By the 18th and 19th centuries, Western scientific influence and internal reforms began to weaken the occult's grip on palace life. While folk beliefs remained among the people, court astrology was no longer respected, and mystics lost access to decision-making circles. Yet, traces of these traditions survived in harem practices, popular medicine, and underground circles. The decline wasn't a disappearance, but a quiet fading into the margins of imperial memory. The Ottoman Empire's power didn't rest solely on armies and gold, it also leaned on stars, dreams, and spirits. While official histories often ignore these practices, they shaped the lives and decisions of the most powerful rulers. The world of Ottoman mysticism was rich, dangerous, and deeply influential. As we look back, we must remember that every empire has its secrets, and the Ottomans, more than most, hid theirs in the silence of the stars.